I have a request to make. It involves you throwing out something that someone probably told you was a good idea. It probably was a mentor, or maybe it was a boss that you reported to. It's probably someone on stage that said, I have the perfect solution for you in managing your team members. I need you to throw it out. But don't worry, I have something that you can replace it with. The framework, the tool, is the 5 whys. So the premise behind it is that when you are asking a question, you want to either ask yourself or someone else, why, and why. Now, I know the intent behind this. It's meant to get under the surface to really get to the heart of the matter. The reality is, the outcome that we get is not what we actually want. So I want to just model this for a second. So let's imagine that I am a team member who is coming to you, the boss, who wants to bring a new idea out. Hey, boss, I got this great idea that I think will make our team more efficient. And I want to go and just start using this platform. Why? Well, we're not really efficient and we have to, make things better. Why? Well, things aren't really, working as well as they could. I mean, we could make it better. Shouldn't we want to make it better? Well, why? I guess it's a good thing and we should all be trying to improve things. Why? I don't know. Don't you want things better? So you might have noticed that the employee that I was playing came in very high energy, had an idea, was ready to go. And the leader came in with their why question. Intent was to get under the surface motivation drivers, peel back the layers, right? What it ended up doing was deflating that person. And whether or not it's as clearly expressed as I was demonstrating it, or under the surface, it's happening, and the person is just smiling through it, it's still happening. The reason for that is when we ask why questions, it points backwards. It looks to the past. So what mistakes were made? What didn't you do right? What's going on? And without even realizing it, we start to go into excuses, self-protection, self-preservation mode. We are no longer talking about what we want to accomplish in the future, what we want to do next. We're just trying to save face and get out of there unscathed. Inadvertently, that leader is killing the creativity and innovation. Yet they're being told that this is a good thing to do. And the fact that it's 2023 and this was a major tech firm that this document went out into blows my mind. But I'm not surprised because there's a lot of antiquated frameworks that are out there. This is why I want to encourage you to critically think about things, get curious about it, meaning that when someone presents a new model to you, you start asking, how might this work? And what might I change or shift to get a better outcome? What do I want my outcome to be? So let's start to do that with the 5 whys. What I encourage you to do is to use what and how questions. So let's use that same example. So I have this idea, boss, on how we can make things more efficient and effective for everyone. Oh, that's awesome. I'm curious, what models or software have you looked into? Well, there's Asana, there's Trello, like we could use Slack. Curious, what are some ROI measurements that we can look at? Well, we can look at our time spent. We can talk about, where people can delegate, how we can all have shared communication. Oh, okay, great. So it sounds like we have some really key areas we want to look at. And I'm really curious to know who else you've talked to in the group to see what they need. Well, I talked to Sally and Becky and Kiki and everything was awesome. So here we go. These what and these how and curious questions have created a dialogue. If I only ask why questions, I become the interrogator. I become the top-down approach. You answer to me, you tell me, versus being a co-creator of ideas and solutions. So in fact, we need to eliminate why questions altogether. If you're a parent, and let's say your kid, made a huge mess, what's the first question we're usually asking them? Why'd you do that? Now, what is a kid going to say? Because I felt like it. It was amazing. They're probably freaking out at this point. Like, how do I either make up a lie in a story or cry or do whatever I can to feel like I'm out of that situation, versus asking them a curious question like, hey, I'm curious what your thought process was that led us to this point. I'm curious how you're going to clean that up. I'm curious what we need to do to keep you more entertained. Usually when we're asking why questions, we are checked out, we're not involved in the solution, and we're probably not feeling real great, and we're not making the other person feel real great. So if you are in a leadership position at home or in the office or at your work from home office or coffee shop, think about how you can craft better questions to get better understanding. This is going to take more exercise from you, more practice to come up with these questions. But think about what is the future outcome that you want to point to, and what questions, beginning with what, how, I'm curious, will get you there. Now, here's the caveat. I'm curious why does not count. So we need to remove the why. In fact, as coaches, we don't ask why questions. In fact, with ICF, it's a big no-no because it points to the past and gets people stuck in that past story loop. So we focus on current functioning state to future vision. And you can do the same thing. You can adapt coaching skills in your leadership communication. So throw out the 5 whys and recycle them into curious what and how questions. And make sure you're clarifying and confirming that that's where we are. I promise you this will get you more shared agreements and more mutual understanding, and will free up a ton of time and energy for you and your team. Hope this was helpful. Y'all keep being awesome.